Arif Ajakia. I'm from Karachi, Pakistan. I have two questions. One is for Mr. Singh Sereng and one is for Honorable Member of European Parliament. Mr. Singh, Pakistan has annexed GB, Gilgit Baltistan. The outside world does not know much about Gilgit Baltistan as you have explained how Pakistan is ruling this part of the world. News do not come out. When CPEC was announced, we heard that Gilgit Baltistan people are opposing it, but nothing as such happened and that CPEC is constructed. No resistance locally, no movement. How do you see future of Gilgit Baltistan? What will happen to Gilgit Baltistan? My question to Honorable Member of European Parliament, Ms. Gianna Gancia. Minorities in India can perform their religious duties on the streets. They pray their prayers on the streets. There is 5 times azan on the speakers of mosques. Throughout the year, on the streets of India, religious rituals of Muslims go on unstopped and nobody disturbs them. Even Hindu community facilitates them. My question is that European Parliament raises issue of religious intolerance in India, while there is not any, because there are no authentic reports of religious intolerance against Muslims in India. While in Pakistan, minorities' rights are violated unstopped, and regularly forced conversion is going on. Ethnic and religious minorities, genocide is going on unstopped. My question is that why European Parliament does not speak where there are authentic reports of violation of human rights in Pakistan, and when there is, as we saw, fake news and all these myths and fictions. So why European Parliament so proactive on these myths and fake news when entire European Parliament was ready to discuss and vote on it, but then it deferred? Thank you.
Thank you. Perhaps, please.
Yes, thank you for your answer. I agree with you about that the fact that the discrimination in Pakistan are not so discussed and not so discussed enough in European Parliament. And it's for that we start these studies, those visits, because a great part of Parliament such value, how do you say in English, such value doesn't, these values, this situation until the Kashmir was with India. Until this moment, this value of the phenomenon, and our colleague, a lot of colleagues that aren't here, we are working to make the discussion be more strong, and also the discrimination. We have to speak a lot about the discrimination, and we start just a few months to work hard about this situation. But I can say that there are also other situations in which human rights are disvalued, and there are no discussion, but now we are working in this order. But I want to say you that also for which for women rights, for instance, this work is going well, and we are working out also with women people, the women organization. Yes. Thank you. Sorry for my English.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. No, thank.
Can I just add something?
Oh, sorry, Nathan.
We have a saying in English that you put oil on the gate that squeaks. So the Pakistan lobby is very strong in the European Parliament, and I think that's just a reality. And there were many MEPs of Pakistani ethnic origin as well. So while my time in the European Parliament, I was there for over 5 years, there were many events sponsored by or pushed pro-Pakistan occupied Kashmir. I didn't see any from the Indian lobby. I think India has got to learn that it needs to become that squeaking gate that gets some oil. It needs to learn how to lobby and push its agenda much stronger and much better within the European Parliament. And I think that that is starting to change. As Jana said, the visit that we had to India and also to Kashmir was very important. It was the first step in raising the profile of India and of the problems there. You know, I'm British. You'd expect that I would understand a great deal about the history of India, but my eyes were greatly opened by that visit. I learned an awful lot, and I think it's important that India pushes its lobbying with MEPs so that they can understand the realities of life and the realities of the situation, and not just listen very biasedly to just one point of view. We need to have some balance within this.
Thank you.
Yes, I completely agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Would you allow me just in 30 seconds to say that, well, lately, actually, when I was already out of the European Parliament, I'm a former member, I was invited once to go to the Friends of Kashmir campuses in the group. And it was a meeting of 7 or 8 MEPs, all of them British, I have to say. The keynote speaker was the governor of Azad Kashmir. And it was absolutely India bashing meeting with no objectivity whatsoever, with people concerned to satisfy their Pakistani-based constituencies back in the United Kingdom. That was all. And this is the environment that really poisons everything and makes Europe, instead of being part of the solution, starting to be part of the problem. That's exactly what I thought when I witnessed to this. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Chair. Thank you to Brexit. We'll have less Met building in the European Parliament as the British members are out. When it comes to CPEC, I think I can talk like an activist as well as a researcher. The very reason that we try to talk about these issues from outside of Gilgit Baltistan, and because there is absolute oppression in Gilgit Baltistan, I can show you clippings from different news where the local minister said anyone who will protest about rights within CPEC will be termed as terrorists, and they will be charged under Anti-Terrorism Act, and there's an article in it called Schedule 4. And what the Schedule 4 does is it takes away from you your passport, your right to, if you have been using any educational quota, for instance, they take it away from you. They take your bank account away from you. They restrict you within your district, and every time you want to travel outside, you have to go to the police station and you have to report to them. And there are a bunch of other things, including obviously job opportunities, and the entire future of those student activists are destroyed. So this is not very easy for the people of Gilgit Baltistan. And the reason why people in Indian Kashmir have been so openly able to enjoy their political rights is because they have a constitutional system there that enabled them to come on streets and, you know, talk about their rights and protest, and sometimes they also have Pakistani flags waving there. We do not have any structure. We have an absolute colonial structure that means they can pick up anyone, and the Pakistani minister, who's not even a local guy, it's been 70 years, our representative is mostly chosen from Punjab. So right now the person who represents us is from Dera Ismail Khan district, who speaks Saraiki, who has never been to Gilgit Baltistan, probably maybe just recently once. He doesn't understand our culture, our identity, anything. He is not a local, and this is how they've been treating us. And that's the person who has absolute authority. They bring the judiciary from Punjab. This person who used to be, I think, a lineman in the telecom, military telecom unit called SCO, Special Communication Organization. He has been promoted as the Chief Justice there now. He is from Punjab. He was a part of the Pakistani military, and now he is making all these absolutely ridiculous judicial decisions in Gilgit Baltistan. So what I'm trying to wrap around and this issue is that there's no way for local people to speak openly the way people in Indian Kashmir do, or people in Delhi do, because India is a thriving democracy. India allows people to talk. And obviously you can't go and burn your city and, cause arson. That is not acceptable. It shouldn't be acceptable anywhere in the world. But when it comes to peaceful, protest, I think India has been very open compared to Pakistan. And that is one of the reasons that I believe that Gilgit Baltistan should be part of India.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we have, please, could you identify yourself?
My name is Fulya Puchwala. I'm an LLM student in Human Rights Law. So I have two questions, one for Ms. Tahmina. So Pakistan is spreading terrorism in Kashmir. However, the youth of Kashmir is still found supporting it. I would like to ask why. And my second question is for Mr. Sering. After the abrogation of Article 370, do you see India start working for getting back Pakistani occupied Kashmir? Thank you.
Just before giving you the floor, yes, if somebody else wants to raise a question, please.
Yes, I have a question for Mrs.
Press
Temi. It's
louder. Yeah, press the button. No, doesn't work. Okay, speak louder.
So, what is the condition of a girl child in Kashmir? I want to know that, please. Thank you.
Last, the lady over there.
My question is for Mr. What is the United Kingdom stance on Kashmir, on the Kashmir issue, and what is the opinion of the majority in the UK on Kashmir?
Okay, that is the last questions, and there will be the last answers. Shall we start by the lady, please?
So I just want to ask, you asked youth is supporting Pakistan.
Yes, the terrorism.
Okay, so you want to know why youth is supporting Pakistan?
Yeah, why they still supporting?
So there's this concept of Islamic movement in Kashmir, and we have started our own revolution of Kashmir from Sufi thought. And Sufi thought is particularly a type of Islam, which is a mediocre system. And now Pakistan has been involving a Salafi thought, which makes you believe that Islam is the only truth, and the way we are intervening into it is the only truth. So that's why they have given this effect to youth that the way we are intervening into your state and the way of Islam we are teaching is the only truth currently. And the youth has been radicalized in a way that they think that the way we are going is the only truth, and we will find all the answers for our life in this system only. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now, which of who wants to speak the first? It was to yourself, the question.
Yeah.
It was to Mr. Gil.
So Brexit now brings a lot of opportunities for the UK, which up until the 31st of January, we had actually given our foreign policy rights over to the EU. So the EU's foreign services, they basically had the right to create laws, to create policy for foreign policy. Now that we have Brexited and after the transition period ends at the end of this year, we will regain those rights, and the Foreign Secretary of Great Britain will once again be able to make foreign policy for the United Kingdom. And I think up until that point, we pretty much have just stepped aside and allowed consensus from the EU on matters around India and throughout the world. We can no longer do that. We can no longer just step back and allow somebody else to make our foreign policy. We need to now be educated. Our ministries need to understand the realities of what's going on in Kashmir. And I think that the general feeling amongst the populace is that we absolutely do not understand the realities of the situation in Kashmir. It is, I myself, a few years ago, I employed a